Hi, my name is Marcel Morales, and this is my application for the technical interview prep course. So answering the first prompt. So if I was in a breakout room and a student asked me a question I don't know the answer to, I would first try to facilitate conversation and try to work with the student together. For example, if I may not know the exact answer, but maybe like talking through design considerations or talking about the actual question or talking to the problem out loud, we can bounce off ideas and hopefully try to come to a conclusion or an answer to that. I can also take advantage of online resources or looking online since there's a lot of vast information online about programming and many different issues. And at least in my previous experience, it's definitely rarely the case that this first error or issue when programming is the first time it's happened. There's a lot of online forums that where people post issues or problems that they're having. So it's definitely not the first time. So we just have to know how to Google search it. So I can definitely take advantage of using the internet or trying to find a way to answer the student's question. But I think what will help overall is trying to bounce off ideas of the student. And then hopefully through us or the group, we can try to find the answer together. Um, Answering the second prompt, if I'm in a breakout room and I see that a lot of students have their camera off, what I would try to do is me with my camera on, I would try to break the ice or try to have like a breakout question. I think through Zoom, it's definitely much more difficult to have that social connection when I don't see the person's face. So I would say try to just like ask them questions or be in more friendly manner. Let them know this is a safe place to learn. And overall, I think once they realize that it's a safe, inclusive, and welcoming place to learn, they'll feel much comfortable turning the cameras on. And once that ice is broken, and that ice can be broken through questions or just not everything has to be technical all the time. We can just try to connect in a more personal manner or things that we are similar in or hobbies or something that's much more lighthearted. Once that ice is broken, the student turns the camera on, I think they will realize that once that social connection is formed, I feel like the class and the whole lesson will flow much more smooth. So answering the third prompt, I'm gonna try to explain the binary search algorithm to a student. So I'll share my screen. Let me see. I'm gonna share my screen real quick. Okay. So share my screen. I'm sorry about that. So share my screen. I'm gonna explain the binary search algorithm. So I guess like so this algorithm helps us find um a number based on an array that we have. So let's say we have, so I think it was best way to explain it through an example. So let's say we have an array. This array has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is an array of integers, and we want to find a number. Let's say like a number that we want to find um is, let's say we want to find the number 2. Um, so first, just I think just like looking, like reading the name of the algorithm. So it's like binary search. So what binary at least tells me is like two, something that's bi is like two, splitting something into two, right? So binary search algorithm, how we start is an assumption or what has been given to us is that first, the array has to be sorted. We cannot perform this algorithm if the array isn't sorted because we're going to take advantage of that quality. Once the array is sorted, we're going to start at the midpoint, like start at the midpoint, and compare midpoint to number we want to find. And we're gonna have like an if statement. So like if if number if number to find is greater than midpoint, look at right side of array, then else look at left side. So I guess it's like explaining like this second part, like why are we doing this? Because we know this like array is sorted. So we know that whatever's on the rightmost side of the array has to be greater than or equal to what's on the left side of the array since it's sorted, right? So it's like incrementing each and each time. So most likely what's on the end of the array, the right side of the array, is greater than what's on the left side of the array. So let's just go through an example right now, how we would do this with this array. So I have an array 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I want to find the number 2. So first, let's say we want to find the midpoint. So this actually works pretty good for us since we want to find like the middle number in this array. So the length of this array is 5, right? So length of array is 5. So to find the midpoint, I'm just gonna divide by 2. So I want to have a left side and a right hand side. So I'm gonna 5 divided by 2. That's like 2.5. I think it's different like opinions if we want to round down or round up, like which index do we want to use. Personally, I'll just round down. So let's just use like index 2, for example. Since we use Python, it's index based at 0. So we're gonna use 3 as our midpoint. Midpoint is 3. So let's compare. Is 3 greater than 2? That's correct, right? Yes. So we know that since 3 is greater than 2, we know that we don't want to look at the right-hand side anymore since the number that we want to find is 2, but 2 is less than 3, right? So we want to look at this side. So now our array is 1 and 2. Now let's just use like our midpoint. For example, since the length of array is 2, length is 2. Let's just do like 2 divided by 2. That's just 1. We're gonna look at index 1. So index 1 is 2. So it's 2 greater than 2 is 2, right? So we found it. So yes, we have found our number and it's an index 1, right? We found 2. That's what we wanted to find. So that's just an example of how we run through binary search algorithm. I think the important thing to know is knowing like where our midpoint is and doing that comparison since it's a greedy way of like we have our input space and we're splitting it by half each and each time. That's just called binary, right? If we have like we're splitting by half by 2 in each time. So have a smaller input space that we want to search and take advantage of the fact that the array is sorted. So that's just a quick example, and I hope that was helpful.